I think I've realized something very, very important that most nomads don't realize until years later. You need to be there for your family. I left London, I think, in August last year, 2024, and right now it's December. So I've been traveling for probably 4 months so far in Bali, one day in Malaysia, and Thailand and Vietnam. And I realized that just before I left, my mum asked me, are we going to book you for my 60th birthday? Because she's 59 now, so obviously it's a big day. And I was saying, no, I'm not going to come. Unless it's like in Japan, I might come. Then I realized, like, what's wrong with me? Like, how can I not do that? That's something that I'm going to regret for perhaps the rest of my life, that I wasn't there. And look, my parents are getting older. My parents are gonna be both in their 60s. My grandparents are in their 80s. Like, these sort of nomads who haven't seen their family for years and years and years, been on the road all that time. What kind of life is that? Like, our lifestyle as nomads is very fleeting, it's very transient. When you leave Vietnam, or when I left Bali, it's like the ghost of me was gone and it's never gonna be there again. Like, it's a very transient existence. So the only real people who your meaning, like your presence, is absent is your family. And because I was living at home with my family, of course, I make a lot of noise, I change things, I do work in the gym, in the garden. So of course, the second I'm not there is a big gap in their life, in both their lives. So the fact that I was thinking, oh, I'm not gonna come back, I'm not gonna spend any time with them for a prolonged period of time. What kind of person does that make me? My parents aren't perfect, but the fact is they fed me, they loved me, they gave me comfort, and they allowed me to build this system. Because imagine if you're living in London, I could have done it. But if you're living in London, living in Europe, 9 to 5, and you're providing everything for yourself, it would be much, much harder. Now, you could use that fresh money, get new creators to make your YouTube channel go up even higher. But the reality is, it's much, much more difficult. It's a much more difficult situation in comparison to living in London, where I didn't even pay any bills. I asked, I was like, let me pay a couple bills. They didn't want. So they allowed me to build this dream life in Southeast Asia. And it's a little bit about novelty as well. It's like Southeast Asia, I love Thailand, I like Vietnam, I like Bali, but it's a bit similar, not just the architecture, the food, the culture, Buddhism, it is a bit similar. So that's why I think doing the trifecta approach allows you to have more novelty. Because obviously Vietnam is different from Thailand, but it wasn't like my time distortion where I went from London to Bali. London to Bali was like, whoa, this is completely different. And the weeks, the months, they pass so much slower because the novelty was like, oh, wow. But now it's different because when I came to Thailand or Koh Samui, it's not as big of a change as going from London to Bali compared to Da Nang to Samui. It's not big of a change. But if you do the trifecta approach, you split up the year into 3 different continents, i.e. Europe, South America, and Southeast Asia. Now, personally, I wouldn't live in South America again, at least for the foreseeable future, because I think it's too dangerous. Way too dangerous. Whereas in Southeast Asia, you don't have that risk, and most of Europe, you don't have that risk. So what my plan is when I go visit my mum, wherever she's going to be, I'm going to go to Central Asia, i.e. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, some of these stans. Even though there's a lot less digital nomad infrastructure, the novelty will be interesting. Because I'm not saying that Southeast Asia is boring, but I wouldn't want to live here all the time. Because there's some issues with Southeast Asia. For example, if you want blood tests, if you want to cook for yourself, it's much more difficult to go to the supermarket to find everything you need. Whereas in Europe, it's easy. Like in Europe, we have to understand that Lidl in Europe is a very, 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 very good supermarket. Like if you haven't lived in Southeast Asia, you don't know that food is very cheap in Europe in comparison to the amount you get paid. Like in Bali, it's 2,000 Indonesian rupiah for one egg. It's slightly cheaper, and this is in the wet markets, to get an egg in Bali than it is to get an egg in UK. It's cheap in UK in the supermarkets, It's very good quality. That trifecta approach, maybe spending 3 months in Europe, 3 months in Southeast Asia, and 3 months in wherever else, makes the perfect sense. But I want to make more money. You need more money for this freedom. Like currently right now, I'm making about 2K a month, completely passively from a YouTube channel. But I need to make more. Like if I want to live that lifestyle of the trifecta, the plane to these places is going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive. So realistically, if I want this lifestyle, I have to be making about 3 to 4K a month. That's when it's very, very easy and very, very achievable. Because the flights ain't going to stink that much. And is that achievable? You're goddamn right. My mom's birthday is in May. So I have 5 months to stack, to diversify to different channels, to make more money. And then I'm chilling. Because I would like to live in Spain. Spain is nice. South of France, nice. Expensive, I'm not going to spend 30 euros in a hostel in Toulouse, but short-term Airbnb, $600. Because one thing is, yeah, there's this YouTuber, used to Nomad, again, you know, he's a good content creator, but he showed his villa in Bali, and it's like 1,500 a month for that. You know, you got mold in the room, it stinks. You got bad construction, and it's like, if you're spending $1,500 a month in Bali for crap infrastructure, it's not even worth it. Like, it's not even worth it. What's the point of spending that much money? You're spending Western prices, even more so, for crap infrastructure, for crap value for money. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like in the south of Spain, probably somewhere like Granada, Malaga, you could get Sevilla, you could get a nice apartment for like probably 1,200, 1,300 euros. And it's nice, good infrastructure, you know, doesn't stink of mold, doesn't have damp. It's actually nice, so it's a good value for money. Because in some ways, if you're in Bali and you're spending that much money, this is being kind of stupid, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's okay for me, like my apartment right now is only $300 a month, and it's reasonable, you know, I'm more than content with this. And this is obviously extremely good value for money. But if you're spending $1,500 for a crap infrastructure apartment or house in Bali, it's not worth it. It's not worth it compared to Europe. But I make more than $2,000 a month completely passively with my YouTube channel. If you want my free passive income blueprint and how you can do the same, you can access it for free down link in the description, the pinned comment. I've also offered limited time consulting spots so I can help you one-to-one to get your channel to $1,000 a month as soon as possible. You can access that in the description. My name is Dillon Nomad. It's my mission in life to help you become financially free by building passive income systems. Please like and subscribe if you found value. See this video there. Bye-bye.